After the frenetic end to Good Friday, as Jesus' body is hastily taken from the cross to this mysterious gravesite, where the two men tend to his body and then roll the stone over the cave, and then two guards arrive to make sure that nothing is going to happen. All of a sudden it's peace and calm, because it's the Jewish Sabbath, and the most important Sabbath of the whole year around the Passover festival. Everything stops and people rest. At the very earliest opportunity on Sunday morning, some women come with spices, and that's where the confusion begins about who they were. Matthew simply tells us that Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. So given that Mary was by far the most common women's name in the whole of Israeli society in the first century, that doesn't help us very much, and there are loads of Marys that are mentioned in the gospel stories. Mark tells us a little bit more. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices to anoint Jesus' body. He has an understanding of why they've come, to finish off anything that Joseph and Nicodemus had not managed to finish, and also to pay their own respect. It was the best thing that they could do for Jesus as they have followed him, is to make sure that his burial is as respectful as it could possibly be. Now, Salome, we know, is the mother of the sons of thunder, James and John. Mary, the mother of James, gives us a clue, but isn't as helpful as it might sound. There were two disciples called James. Also, Jesus has a brother called James, so it could mean Jesus' mother, Mary. It almost certainly means Mary, the mother of the other James, who we often forget about as a disciple, the son of Alphaeus. John just tells us that Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, saw the stone rolled away, and then emphasises the way that she went to get Simon Peter and the other disciple who come and look at the gravesite. So it rests on Luke, who just loves to get his details just right. It is one of the things that we love about Luke and Acts. So this is what Luke very helpfully tells us. The women took spices that they had prepared and went to the tomb. So we kind of don't know who went. Some women went. There were some significant things about this. One is the whole attitude of society towards women. God, in his infinite wisdom, had set it up so that the male disciples were going to have to trust the testimony of women about the resurrection, when their society said that a woman's testimony was not good enough in court. God was not having any of that rubbish. But maybe we can lay this at the men who wrote it down, that they want to let us know that the women stayed with Jesus and did everything that they could. They watched his crucifixion as closely as they possibly could. They came from Galilee and elsewhere to tend to his needs when the male disciples didn't understand and didn't get it. And now they are the first on the scene. As soon as the sun appears behind the hill, they are there to tend his body, doing everything that they possibly can with what they know to do something. And we're told this, but there isn't enough interest to record who exactly was there. The second thing that it tells us is that Mary Magdalene was of great significance, because she is the one name that all three of the gospel writers get right. And in Luke's account, he goes on to describe her meeting with Jesus. So there is something about the emphasis on what the women did, people that society generally ignored or did not notice, that when the men deny and betray and run away, the women stayed with Jesus, and along with Simon of Cyrene and Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, did their absolute best for him in his hour of need, even though they didn't seem to understand what he was about to do. And all of this shows the same spirit that was there when Mary anoints Jesus' feet with oil just before he goes through his worst of all days, seeming to understand that he, human Jesus, who is also the Son of God, needs some support in this moment, and his needs are cared for. The women get things right when the men mess things up, and the male gospel writers at least emphasize that.